welcome to our lesson for today. Last time, we talked about how Saul had been anointed by Samuel to be the king of all of Israel, and how he hadn't told anyone. He had kept it a secret. He hadn't told anyone until it was time for all the people of Israel to know. And now it is time for all of Israel to know who is their king.
Yes, and so Samuel gathered all of the tribes of Israel together and they worshipped God together. And so Samuel told them, today I'm going to tell you who your new king is.
Yes.
But remember, God had been their king all through, and he had actually saved them and protected them even
And
from
taken
the
care of them.
and he protected them even from the people that were going to hurt them. But still, they wanted a king that they could see, so God was going to give them one.
And so remember, Samuel had gathered every tribe, and out of all of these tribes, the tribe of Benjamin was chosen by Lot. And then out of the tribe of Benjamin, all of the families were called forth, and all of these families were called forth, and the family of the Matrites was chosen. And then from this family, Saul, the son of Kish, was chosen above all of them, and he was going to be their king. So all of the people got excited and they really wanted to see this king. So everyone was looking and they wanted to see this king
was, but he was nowhere to be found.
They could not find him.
They could not find him. So what Samuel did is he prayed to God and asked God to tell him where Saul was, and or where Saul was hiding. And then God told Samuel, actually Saul is hiding, and he's hiding in the luggage. Because the thought of standing in front of all these people had scared Saul.
Imagine standing in front of everyone, because it was all of the tribes, all of the people of Israel, and it was so scary.
It was so scary for Saul, and so he had gone in hiding. But the people went and got Saul out of where he was hiding, and they brought him to where the people were. And then Samuel took his hand and said and proclaimed, "Here is the
man who is going to be your king."
So here is the king that God has chosen for you. Yes, and so Saul was still very afraid, but the people were very excited, and so they
started cheering, and they got up and they said, 3 cheers for the king, long live the king. And they were happy and they were so excited because now they had seen Saul. Remember, we said that Saul was a very tall and very handsome man. So when he stood above the people, they could see his shoulders
all
and
the
his
way to
head,
his
and
head.
now the people had seen their new king.
Yes, and they were all very happy.
Yes, and very excited. Then Samuel sat down and wrote down all of the laws that a king was supposed to follow and how a king was supposed to act. And this was going to be followed by Saul, the first king,
and all the
other king in Israel, because the kings in Israel had to be different. They were going to be different because they were going to do what God said and not what they wanted.
So on that day, everyone went back home very excited that they had finally seen their king and that they finally had a king that they could see. So they went home very excited, and Saul went back to his father's farm and stayed there a little while longer. But remember, kids, Saul was chosen by God and he was going to be different. The same way we as the children of God, we do not live our lives as the world does. We ought to be different in all things because we follow God's laws and we follow what God says and not just what we please. So we are different, just as the kings of Israel are going to be different. So now we're going to stand up and sing our song. So let's stand up and sing this song.
Okay, kids, so we've just talked about how Saul was chosen to be king, and when it was announced to the people, he was somewhere hiding because he was afraid of going in front of all of these people, in front of all of Israel, and being their king. But now we're gonna sing a song about how we should not fear anything at all because God is always with us. So stand up and help us sing this song. Okay, kids, it's time for us to do our craft. So we've just talked about how Samuel announced to all the people that Saul is their king. So now we're gonna draw how all of this happened. And remember, we said that Saul, even though when he stood, he was very tall and very handsome.
Yes.
So everyone could see him and everyone got a glimpse of him.
Yeah.
So now that is what we're going to do. So for this, you need your manila papers. So we have two different manila papers. We have a white one and we have a blue one. Then we have our colors and our pencils because it involves a lot of drawing. We have our scissors and we have our staplers because we're also going to staple some stuff on.
Yeah.
So you're gonna take your white manila paper and we're going to draw people and Saul.
Many people.
Many people. Well, not many people, but many people and Saul. So because Saul is taller than everyone and he was able to be seen, we're going to draw him taller than everyone else. So just draw a simple shape of a person. Only arms and shoulders like this. As you can see, arms with his shoulders and then his head. Because that is the part of him. These are the parts of him that the people were able to see. No matter where you were standing, you were able to see Saul's face and his shoulders, his head basically.
And he was very handsome.
And he was very handsome. So draw a nice Saul. And this is our person. Now for everyone else, Saul was above everyone else when he stood up. So for everyone else, we're just going to draw their heads. So they're going to look kind of like small mountains with hair and eyes. So a small mountain with hair and eyes. So just draw small mountain shape and then fill in the hair everywhere. Make sure the person has hair all over the head and then draw eyes. And maybe their noses, if they're tall enough, their noses can be seen. And do this as many times as you want for as many people as you want to make. I just made 4. I only made 4 people. And these are the ones that are going to be seen on our final paper. So just draw your people, make sure they all have their eyes. And remember, they're just small mountain of people because it was a big crowd of people. So to give the illusion of a crowd, we're going to have these people be there, but shorter than Saul. So as soon as you've drawn your people, take them and cut them out because we need to stick them on our other manila paper. So take them and cut them out. So we're going to start with Saul because he's the biggest person that we're cutting out. And be careful not to cut his head. Cut around him. Cut all the way around Saul. And remember, he's the tallest one because he is their king. He's the one who's just been chosen to be their king and he got anointed. And now the people all know who their king is and they're very excited because they were very excited to have a king that they can see.
Yeah.
So that's why we have these people here who are going to surround Saul.
Yes, because remember we said Samuel had gathered all the people of Israel together.
Yes, and those are very many people. All the tribes of Israel gathered together in one place. That means those are very many people that are all there just to see their king.
Yeah.
Their new king. Because remember, God was their king before. He's his one who had protected them and took care of them. So after you've cut out all of your people, now we need to place them on our second manila paper. So finish cutting out your people, then place them on your manila paper. Manila paper. So take Saul, and Saul is going to be in the middle because he is the king. So take him, place him in the middle of your paper, and staple him onto your paper. And this is Saul, and everyone could see him. So now take your other people, the ones who've drawn just their heads, and place them around Saul because they have come to see him, and then just staple them on around him. So staple all the people on, make sure they're placed properly, make sure they're secure.
And they can't be taller than Saul.
They cannot be taller than Saul, which is why Saul is the tallest one. So like I said, you can make as many people as you want because there are very many people, but Saul has to be the one standing above them. Now Saul is the king, so we're going to make him colorful. So we're going to give his shirt a color. So I'm just going to take my orange red color and color in Saul's outfit, Saul's clothes. So now he's wearing a nice bright color, and he can be seen as far as the people went because there are very many people. So just color in your Saul. You can color and decorate his clothes whatever color you want him to be.
Like mine is purple.
And mine is orange, I think, or red. I really don't know what this color is. But yeah, this is my King Saul. Then we need to remember what all of this is about. So take your pencil and write Saul becomes king in big capital letters. Saul becomes
King. And that is in 1 Samuel
chapter 9. Saul becomes king. And this is 1 Samuel chapter 9. So, who is Saul? Saul is the son of Kish.
So you can actually do arrows to show Saul.
The son of Kish, a very tall man.
Taller than everyone.
And then he is also very handsome. And most important, he is chosen by God. Chosen by God. And there we go. So now we will always remember that Saul became king. He was chosen by God. He was the son of Kish. He was very tall and he was very handsome. And everyone in Israel now knew who their king was.
Yeah, and always remember that Saul was the first king the Israelites had. So that's it for today. Until next time,
Bye.